Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get started now. I just want to thank everybody for showing up. You know, that obviously shows us that you guys are thinking along the same lines that we're thinking on about investing, thinking about your futures, thinking about your family's futures. So we just want to begin by giving you guys a warm welcome and a thank you, and to let you guys know that what we're going to talk about here this evening is we are looking to add value. So that's our whole thing. Anytime we do any presentations or anything we do, it is our intent to always add value. We're here to take nothing. We're here to give no high pressure sales pitches or anything like that. We just want to add value. Everything that we've learned over the years and what we're doing, we know that it'll benefit you and your family. So our thing is adding value to your lives tonight. So we know that in doing business in general or life in general, when you do the right thing, when you take care of people, when you perform service with transparency and the utmost respect of others, then you will be destined for success, period. So we live our lives and we run our business on that premise. We provide excellent service and we take care of people. And I don't know if anybody has been following our journey, but we have been taken care of immensely for doing this. So that is one of the cornerstones of our business. So when we do these presentations, we are very deliberate and intentional and consistent. So it is our journey to stay consistent, because we know consistency rules everything. So we're going to keep giving all of the information that we have to offer to people on a monthly basis. We've had rooms with 1 people. We've had rooms with 100 people. And like I stated moments ago, we stream in other venues as well. So this is being recorded. So that's how we operate. Everything is deliberate. Everything is intentional. So with that being said, I am going to begin to share my screen. I'm Christopher Franklin. I'm CEO and co-founder of Harmony Village 100. So I'm not going to drag anything out. I'm going to get right to the point. We're going to walk through these slides and we're going to show you guys what we're all about. So I'm going to begin to share my screen. Let's see here. Okay. Let me do this slideshow from the beginning. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Good, good. Okay. So what we do here at Harmony Village, we invest in East Africa. Right now, we're mainly investing in Rwanda, but we invest in East Africa in general, Tanzania, Uganda, but right now our main focus is Rwanda. So we like to give everybody the opportunity to know exactly what we're doing, because the investment that we offer is not something that you'll see every day. You know, the stock market, you can get 10% or 8%, 12%. With our investments, it's phenomenal. So we have the urge to share this with everybody. So we have a particular interest in our community, let's say the African diaspora, but our opportunity is open to anyone across the world. We have partners of all ethnicities, but there's nothing against pushing this to the Black and brown community per se, because we know we've been under the 8 ball for quite some time. And so that is our passion. But as I stated moments ago, it's not exclusively to the African diaspora. So once again, Christopher Franklin, as you can see, our motto is helping to usher in Africa's green revolution. So I like to start off by letting anyone who may not know what the green revolution is. So what the green revolution is when a developing country begins to turn that corner, so to speak, in agriculture and starts from using more manual labor to more mechanized production systems. So as you guys can see in this slide, we're doing manual watering, manual fertilizing and seeding and stuff like that. So this is much of the African continent's current situation. Everything is manual. Hundreds of field hands doing all the manual labor. So as I stated, our motto is helping to usher in Africa's green revolution. So with our investment dollars that we are investing in Africa right now, we hope to make that a possibility in the short term as opposed to the long term. So what you will see when the green revolution is implemented, like here in the West in the United States, you'll see the combines, the tractors, harvesters, seeders. You see the irrigation systems. You see the trucks harvesting. You see that's few and far between on the African continent. So just like you've seen in the prior slide with the irrigation system there, it takes hundreds of people all day to get these crops watered. So that is just not really sustainable, but that's the common practice. So what we plan to do is change all of that. Okay, so what this, as you can see, before Harmony Village, and obviously Harmony Village has been in operation for 3 years, so this is not the what we have done. This is our dream. This is what we intend to do. So on the left there, before Harmony Village, you can see how the fields are very sparse and things is just not green. It's just not growing. The production is just not there. And this is the reason that we see a lot of the malnutrition and the food insecurity that's going on the continent right now, because they just cannot produce. They just do not have the resources to produce like they need to sustain their own communities. So after Harmony Village on the right, this is our intent, to have more lush fields, more bountiful harvest, just huge production to the point where the different countries in Africa can sustain themselves. And not only will they be able to sustain themselves, they can begin to export these different commodities and cash crops and begin to make some of those billions and billions of dollars that we already know that's out there in the agricultural industry. So this is our goal as Harmony Village 100. And in meeting our goals, it's a lot of money that's being made. So that's why I'm here tonight, to give you guys insight that we have learned and that we are implementing on a daily basis in Africa. But before we get to that, we like to tell a little bit about ourselves for anybody who does not know us. I am the co-founder, Christopher. David is a co-founder. That's my brother. We're from a family of 10. We've had several businesses in the past. So me and David fall right there in the middle of the 10 children. So we have always gravitated towards each other in business. And we've had nightclubs, we've had dry cleaners, we've had laundry services, we've had cleaning facilities where we've cleaned entire hospitals, landscaping companies. We've done it all. And right now we're big in the real estate in the Metro Detroit area. So me and David, we have been in business for over almost 25 years now, over 20 years. And this was actually David's passion. As a few of you may know, David has moved from Detroit to Rwanda to specifically overlook Harmony Village 100 as we are growing so fast. So that's where David now lives, him and his family. but I just want to tell you guys a little bit about us, a little bit of our business techniques, a little bit of our history, because people obviously want to know the faces behind the product if you're intending to invest or anything like that. So that's just a little bit about us. And like I said, we're going to cruise through these slides tonight. So we won't take up more than about an hour of people's time. I know some of the question and answer sessions at the end can go on quite long. So that's why we like to cruise through the slides so we can give people at the end an opportunity to ask questions. So one more slide about us. We love to give back. So specifically in Rwanda, where we make all of the resources that we have, this is the place that we feel compelled to give back to the most. And when I talk about giving back, I'm talking about giving back through donations, through school donations in particular, buying uniforms, helping to support individual families with medical insurance and things of that nature. So these are some of the things that we do with some of the profits that we're receiving. So not only is it about us, like I said, how much you grow and how much you succeed is all in the service that you give to others. So you will always come out on top if your service is top tier. So next slide. So there are some problems. So with these problems is actually how Harmony Village 100 was born. So David, initially, he went to Rwanda in 2020, and he heard about a lot of the different investment opportunities. So this is what prompted him to go there. And upon him going there, it was right in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And I was actually supposed to go there with him to explore, to see these different opportunities, because the opportunities, quite frankly, just sounded a little bit unreal. So David ended up going to Rwanda by himself. I'm a mechanical engineer, so I was at work at the time, and I just could not justify leaving work, say, for 4 weeks and having to go across the world and be on a lockdown, be in the house by 4 or 5 p.m. So David made the trip himself, and what he found was astounding. And he brought it back to me. And at that time, we juggled the thing back and forth, went back and forth a couple of times, and that's how Harmony Village was born. So I kind of digressed. I went backwards there, forgive me. But this is the basis. This is, we have solutions to these problems that I'm going to present here. So the problems that we had noticed before starting the company was that people just didn't know what to invest in. And not only did they not know what to invest in, they just didn't know how to invest. That investor's skill set was lacking. So if I go back to the top of not knowing what to invest in, what I mean is a lot of times with the stock market here in the West, we may get a tip. Someone may say, hey, the next tech stock that's coming out is XYZ. So if you get a tip on what tech stock is next to come out, then by the time you actually get that tip, it's too late. So we really don't know what to invest in. Many of us do not know how to invest. I'm sorry, I have to back up there. Yeah, many of us don't know how to invest. We just don't have that investor skill set. So when we look at the stock market and we see the ticker going across the screen, the up and down arrows, a lot of that is like Chinese to people. You know, it's very intimidating. So us at Harmony Village 100, we aim to eliminate the need for any of that. And we will talk about this in the solutions. So these problems that I just stated is on the United States side. So if we look at the problems we noticed in Africa, they just do not lack the resources to farm effectively. The money is just not there. And like we stated earlier about the Green Revolution, the reason the money is there is because their techniques are not there. They do not have the bountiful harvest to sell the excess to farm effectively and productively. So that was one of the problems. The skill set as well. A lot of us see people on the African continent farming, they have the head rags on, the overalls and the hoes and the rakes, and we automatically assume that, oh, these guys are farmers. They are the best of the best. They know exactly what they're doing. But this is quite far from the truth. A lot of them are using outdated farming practices, and this is the reason. Their lacking of production is the result of using those antiquated farming practices. So that is another problem that we see. And then exploitation of the workers. And when I say exploitation as a problem, they are paying people pennies, literally pennies, to farm these fields. So with the problems that we're seeing on the state side with people not knowing how to invest and what to invest in, and the problems we've seen on the Africa side with them just lacking the resources and the skill set to farm effectively, we have a solution with Harmony Village 100 where it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for the African community. It's a win for the investor partner community. So I'm going to go on with the solutions. So the first problem was we didn't know what to invest in. Harmony Village 100 eliminates that because you're investing in African agriculture in general. You don't need an investor's mindset. You don't need to know how to read candlesticks and charts and graphs. Only thing you need to know how to do is just read in general. No investor's mindset. We give a quarterly report every quarter, which is mandated. We give newsletters from time to time. So there is absolutely no need for an investor skill set with Harmony Village 100. And the solution on the African side, we said that they just do not have the resources to farm effectively. So that's where we come in. We come in with the resources. We give these different companies the money. Obviously, if they meet our rigorous criteria, we give them the money as an investment and it's returned to us. And then we give the dividends or the returns back to our investors. So another benefit or a solution is that we provide training. We have professional farmers, agronomists, everything under the Harmony Village 100 umbrella. So when we partner with a farming company, we actually give them the training that's necessary to farm effectively and efficiently and get that production out of their farms. And lastly, minimize the exploitation of the workers. Like I just stated a few moments ago, a lot of the farm workers are being exploited by being paid pennies. So what happens when we partner with the different companies in Africa, we make them give us all access passes to their operations, meaning that if you take investment dollars from Harmony Village 100, we are guaranteed access to your facility at all times. No doors are closed to us. We can speak to all of your employees, all of your farm hands, everyone. And if we catch an instance where workers are being exploited, then we will not reinvest in this company. And this is the clause that we have in our contract. So it is in their best interest to put any of those unscrupulous practices aside if they intend to continue to be financed by Harmony Village 100. So these are some of the solutions that we have. So I'm going to carry on and tell you a little bit about the company, how we got started, our timelines that we had set forth for ourselves, and things of that nature. So like I told you, we originally started in 2020. When we started in 2020 during COVID, we invested small sums of money. And this was in an effort to test the water, so to speak. We started with $6,000, measly $6,000. We invested in one company. We sent them through the rigorous process. Actually, David did this on his own. And that's when he reported back to me. He said, look at this, Chris. I invested $6,000. Look how much I got returned in just 5 months. So I'm looking over all the paperwork. I'm like, hold on, man. This just can't be true. So I was like kind of taken aback when he showed me the type of profits that he had been making. So then he alone again went in with a bigger trial of 25,000, and the same scenario played out. Like I said, David and I, we've been in business together forever. So it's only natural for us to get together and do this. So once he got that second payment, and I looked at it, I said, hold on, this absolutely can't be true. So that's when I finally took off work for the whole month, and I went to East Africa, to Rwanda specifically, to check into this myself. And from there, the rest is history. So what we did after we started the company, we gave ourselves a goal. And these goals that you see are money taken in, assets under management from different investors around the world. So we gave ourselves a timeline by December of last year to take in $1 million. And it was a lofty goal, because at the time, we really couldn't fathom the thought of a person halfway around the world just giving a couple of brothers from Detroit money to manage in the African market, let alone any other market, because we know how the African continent as a whole has kind of gotten a bad rap, so to speak. Yes, it's some corrupt nations, but overall, we have been led to believe that it's just a corrupt continent, and that is far from the case. So we set a goal for ourselves to take in $1 million worth of investment money by the end of last year. We actually met that goal by September of last year. So our next year's goal, which is the end of 2023, the end of this year, was $2 million. We're already at 3.25 million, and we're just in the third quarter of the year. So the business have grown tremendously, and we can't say enough good things. Everything is working as intended. All of our investors are being paid as they should be at their respective dates. And we'll go lastly to the right. Our goal for the end of 2024, which is next year, is 10 million. So we think that we will exceed that because of the curve. Normally it goes kind of flat and the momentum goes up, and we think that we're going to ride that curve as well. So these were some goals that we set out for ourselves, and we're happy to report that it's going way better than we actually thought it would. So people may want to know how we vet our different companies, our different businesses that we invest in. So first, to the left, we have a preliminary contact. So a lot of times we like to go down to the government agencies and get information, get companies that are looking for investment off of a board. They have a board in the government agencies where people have to qualify. Their business has to qualify to even get on that board. And we like to use that source because the qualifications that's required already check some of the boxes that we require. So that's a little bit easier because they wouldn't even be there if they didn't meet certain criteria. And the second way is right through our website. Different companies come to our website. They click on the link, partner with us, and then they put all of their information in. We look at it. If the information looks viable, if the company looks profitable, everything is 100% above board, that's when we invite them to do a virtual pitch to us. Once they are invited to do a virtual pitch, and it's over a platform similar to this, normally it's over Zoom, but it could be over Microsoft Teams, the different platforms. But once they pitch to us, they have to have their entire board of directors available. We've had certain companies that say, okay, this person wasn't available or that, they're out. They don't even pass the second step. Once their whole board is available, we allow them to pitch to us. And at that point, if their pitch sounds very good, it sounds like everything is above board, then we will move to the next step, which is a field visit. So if your pitch was honest and truthful, you would have no problems letting us come to your facility. Not only your facility where you do the clerical end, but to your fields, to your farms. At that point, once we go to their farms, now it's that's when it sets in if this is going to be a good company to invest in. You know, you can smell everything, touch everything, and you can see if everything that they said in that preliminary contact, in that virtual pitch lines up. So if all of that lines up, then we move to the last stage, which is document submission. In the document submission, it's, I want to say almost 50 documents that we require. Yes, it's extensive, and we've had certain companies bow out because they just cannot meet our different criterias, but it's absolutely necessary if we are managing assets. It's not only is it necessary, it's mandatory. So obviously we have a fiduciary responsibility that we have to uphold. So it is in everyone's best interest to get all of the documents. So once we scrutinize all of the documents, and when I say documents, I'm talking about profit and loss paperwork, I'm talking about any invoices, even pro forma invoices. I'm talking about CVs to the board, resumes. I'm talking about passport photos, just the whole gambit, everything involving this company. So we get all of this together. We get with our attorneys, everybody, even our accountants. We look over this stuff to make sure that it's all viable, everything is above board, and everything is as stated. It's legal before we would make an investment. If all four of these checks out, at that point, we will partner with that company. So that is our vetting process. And this is how we as a business are sustainable. So now the opportunities. So I know a lot of people here want to know about the opportunities. This is the first of 3 different partnership packages that we offer. And after I tell you about these, I will show you how it's done. So this is the first package. It's a 1.5-year partnership package. I'm going to take a drink here. And on this package, we offer a 40% total return on investment. And just to break that down for anybody who's really not that savvy when it comes down to the numbers, a real round number, 10,000. A person invests 10,000, you will be returned 14,000. That's a 40% increase in your investment. If it's 1,000, you would be returned $1,400. And how this works, you would have one payment will be made after the first year of 70%. So if it's $1,000, you will get $700 after the first year, and 6 months thereafter, you would get $700 for a total return of 40%. And just to talk about percentages, we touched on it briefly about the stock market. Let's say the New York Stock Exchange. You can get a 8%, 10% return on average of your money. Yes, you could get lucky and get invest in a certain company and your money will 10x, but you can also be terribly unlucky and invest in a company and it turns to 0. But on average, if you invest in, say, the S&P 500 or spread your money out, you'll get 8%, 10%, 12%. You will never see a 40% return. And if you want to talk APR, that's about 26.6% APR. So we'll move right along to our second partnership package, which is a 2.5-year obligation. And we've heard some people say, okay, 2.5 is a long way. It's kind of out there for me. So those people take 1.5. But with this 2.5 year partnership, you effectively double your money. So if you invest 1,000, you get back 2,000. You invest 10,000, you get back 20,000, so on and so forth. But with this plan, your first payment will not come until after 2 years, until 24 months, at which time you will get the same amount that you invested, and 6 months thereafter, which is the half year, 2.5, you will get another amount equivalent to what you invested. So this is actually, if you break this into APR, it's a 40% APR. That's unheard of. You don't ever hear about something like this. This is why we urge people to look at us seriously. And we do this conference month after month after month, and we're taking in a lot of assets under management because people are really not I would say we're not out there very big. We do not have a lot of avenues to advertise this. Yes, we are using what we have, social media, YouTube, things of that nature, but we're really looking for a way to get it out there, because what we are offering people is just phenomenal here. You will never get this opportunity, because what happens here in the West, this is a capitalist society here, where if I'm going to make 40% APR on an investment, and I am the guy who have founded this investment opportunity, I'm going to take 30% down. I'm going to put it in my back pocket, hold it for myself, and I'm going to give you that traditional 10%. So this is why you'll never hear about an investment such as this. And I'm going to move on to our third partnership package, where you get a 175% total return on investment. So if you invest, again, I'll use the same two numbers, $1,000, after 3.5 years, that $1,000 turns into $2,750. $10,000 investment, that turns into $27,500 after a short 3.5 years. This is unheard of. You could, I'll give you a perfect example. This was several years ago, but we had bought some bonds online for the kids, and we started with, I think it was $1,000, and after this thing matured, after I think it was like 3 years or something like that, it gained $50. So, and this is the equivalent time frame that we're talking about. Your $1,000 gained $50 after 3 years. That's unheard of. That's ludicrous. But here, $1,000 it turned to $2,750. So this is our best. I don't want to say best seller because we don't sell anything, but this is our best opportunity. And this is the opportunity that most people take advantage of. So we have looked into our demographic, and we noticed that the older people normally goes for the 3.5 because they know the value, but the younger people kind of want a quick buck, so they'll go for the 1.5 year opportunity. But nonetheless, these are tremendous returns that, quite frankly, you won't ever see from any company. And I'll tell you now, how is this possible? It's very, very simple. So what happens in America? So I'm going to do a pro and a con, so to speak. So this is the American market. So we'll imagine we have a investor named John there at the top in the green that invests $800. So he'll give it to this landowner who has nothing but the land, and that landowner will disperse it in the fashion that you see there, with $100 going to cultivating, seed, harvest, package, logistics, $200 into maintenance, and that landowner will get $2,400. So you'll see that max gain from that land was $2,400. Now keep in mind, this is here in the United States. So John got his $800 back for his initial investment, and then they returned him a great profit of 12%. That's great here in the US. So John now has $896. Landowner has $1,504. I don't want to say the landowner didn't have any skin in the game, because obviously he did. He had the land, but that seems a bit unfair. So as you can look at the pie chart on the right, landowner with the blue, he got all the money. John in the gray, that was his money back, and that little sliver of green, that's John's profit. So when I talked about how this is possible, our next slide will depict this exact same scenario, but it's on the African continent where we invest that daily. Now look at this, John's same $800 given to that same landowner, split up in the same fashion, yielding that same profit of $2,400. Now look what happens. John was returned his $800, that left $1,600, and John split that with the landowner. So this is the mindset that's being played out in a lot of the countries across Africa. And when we actually went to Rwanda to start investing bit by bit, I don't want to say we stumbled onto it, because we definitely did our research and went there deliberately and intentionally, but this was the absolute best thing that could have happened for us, our families, you, your family, anybody watching tonight. So look at the stark difference here, the solution. The landowner, now he has an even share. John profit, John got his money back in the gray, and there's his profit in the green. So they have a profit sharing mentality there, not a capital gains mentality where they're taking all of the profit down. So for every dollar that we invest in Africa, like we're doing now, whatever it produces, we get half of what was produced. Because the logic there is, had this person not invested, I would have zero. So now that he has invested, he is entitled to half of the profit from his investment. So this is how we are so successful. And I'll go one more. Look at the different charts there. It's the stark contrast between the left, the US, and the right. It's just unbelievable. And in Rwanda specifically right now, they are like, we like to say that they're about 50, 60 years behind the United States in regard to not so much infrastructure, but just society as a whole. You know, yes, their roads are very bad. They do not have the mechanized equipment in their farming fields. So in the area of agriculture, they're like 50, 60 years in the past. So in that area, we are pioneers of the agricultural industry as it relates to advancing them toward the green revolution. And as anybody knows, if you are a pioneer in anything, then you stand to reap the most rewards. I mean, and when I say anything, I'm talking about when stocks, certain hot stocks come out, and you get in there right at that IPO and they go from $20 to $200 a share, you're right at the forefront of that. So you stand to reap the benefits. And that's where Harmony Village is right now in Rwanda. We're right at the forefront of the agricultural investing scene, and we are setting ourselves up to be the authority as it relates to agricultural investing in that region. You cannot go to Rwanda and talk to a garlic farmer, a chili pepper farmer, avocado farmer, chia seed, any of those different farmers, and they don't know the name Harmony Village 100. It's plastered all over the country because we are setting ourselves up as the agricultural investment authority in that region. And that's I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to tell everybody another reason why it's possible. So we'll talk about the harvest seasons. So here in the United States, our harvest season is in October. Our planting season is May. We plant in May, harvest in October, one and done. It's over. So if anybody is familiar with the geography of East Africa, it's very near to the equator. And I will speak specifically about Rwanda, since that's where most of our business is done. The temperature is on an even keel basically all year round, about 80 degrees, plus or minus a few degrees. So if you know anything about the equator and the consistency, we have more than just one season. So now we couple that profit sharing mentality with anywhere from 3 to 5 seasons, then that's where the potential for explosive growth lies, how we have been witnessing. And why I say 3 to 5 seasons, because it depends on the crop. If you're going to grow chili peppers or something like that, or garlic, you will have 3 seasons. If you grow something like French beans, now you have 5 seasons, because these things mature from seed to harvest in 45 days. So can you imagine having 5 seasons to where you're harvesting and you are splitting the profits every season, as opposed to one season where somebody is pocketing 90% of the profits and giving you that other 10% that's left over. So like I mentioned before, these are a couple of the ways why we are seeing tremendous growth in the agricultural sector. It's that simple. Profit sharing and multiple seasons due to its geographical location. So I'm going to move forward and I'll leave this slide here. But before I move forward, I really don't think that I drove the point home good enough with the last couple of slides as far as how it's possible. What I would like to do is see if I can paint a picture, so to speak. So, and then I'll make the numbers small so people can understand and really understand. So just imagine if you invest $100 here in the United States, and you say if a company did want investment into agriculture, you invested into corn, and then they harvested, gave you the $100, 110 back, there's your 10%. Now flip that over into the continent. You invested $100, and I'm not talking about in May, I'm talking about in January, and let's just say it was beans, and you were getting 20% profit. So now here it is, January, and now you got 45 days later, and we won't break down the weeks, but we know that we got 5 harvest seasons with beans. You gave me $100, 45 days later, I gave you back $120, because the total profit that was made off of your $100 investment was $40. Let's just keep it small. So I got 20, the business kept 20. So I was returned $140 on that first harvest season. And I won't even talk about reinvesting the $40. We're going to put that to the side. That next harvest season, you invested that same $100. You got another $40. You put that to the side. The third harvest season, you made another $40 on your $100. So that $40 over 1 year has worked 5 times. So that $100 over that 5 harvest seasons in the year has been out there producing and has been harvested 5 times. And I'm sorry, I said you would make 40. 40 was the total profit. So the profit was split 20-20 between the company and yourself. So you made a $20 profit 5 times. So you effectively made $100 off your $100 in a year. So you doubled that money in 1 year. So it is nothing for Harmony Village 100 to pay a 40% return. Obviously, we can't do a 100% return on a 1.5 year like we are collecting, because we have many employees, we have administrative costs. It's just, we have built a huge company and the costs are very extensive. So we are doing the best we can to offer you the maximum return so that you would invest in this endeavor. You're never going to hear about this again, and it's going to build wealth. It's going to secure futures for families. It's just something, and we are just trying to get it out there. Like I said, we're very intentional and we're very deliberate and we're consistent. We're going to be doing these presentations each and every month till we drive the point home to where we can close that wealth gap that we see exists between our community and the other 95%. So I'm kind of going to not stop there, but I'm going to proceed because I know I can digress sometimes and run this thing over. So I'll tell you guys how you can get started. And like I said, this is no high pressure sales tactic or anything. We're just here giving. If you guys take advantage of it, that's going to be nothing but positivity that flows back to your family. So this is our website, and this is the home page. So how you would get started is you would go right there to that partnership tab. To that partnership tab in the center. When you click that partnership tab there, you'll see invest with us, and you'll pick which of the packages that you're most interested in. You'll click on that. Once you do that, you'll see a screen like this. Let's just say if you clicked on the 3.5, you would scroll down, sign up for your partnership here. You would fill out all of the information that's on that sign up sheet. At the bottom, you would click sign up. At that point, a automated email would be generated. It would come to our team here at Harmony Village. We would see your specifications. We would prepare all of your documentation and send them back to you for e-signing. If your investment is $5,000 or less, if it is over $5,000, a e-notary would be in order. That is a more sizable investment. So we think notarization of that type of investment is in order. And like I said, we do remote online notary. So we've notarized from Australia, we've notarized from Canada, we've notarized from the United Kingdom. And if you scroll down a bit further, there's an interactive calculator there. So if people are just curious, you could go to the website, you could hit that partnership tab, click on one of those, scroll down, and you can input all kinds of different scenarios that you may be interested in, and hit the calculate button, and it'll spit out the numbers there. So you'll know exactly how your investment dollars are working and things of that nature. So we will talk for a brief second about the team. I'm Christopher Franklin, co-founder. My brother David Franklin there, he's on the line. He'll say a couple words for you guys. This is also our younger brother, Gregory Franklin. He's an accounting professional. He takes care of all of our books, make sure we ourselves stay above board, make sure we pay our taxes, all of that type of thing. He's the numbers guy. And then we have our partner, Isaac Alabi. He's the UK ambassador to the UK and Europe. And we'll let these guys talk for one moment, or if anybody wants to unmute themselves and ask a question, that's perfectly fine. I'll give the floor for a moment to David, see if he has anything to add.
Hello, Tracy and Earl. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thank you, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, for me and Chris, getting established in East Africa, it was pretty much simple for us, being that East Africa's GDP grew by 8% compared to 2% in the United States. And also another fact that 65% of the world's arable land is in Africa. So, and also 70% of the residents here are farmers. So it only made sense to get into farming. And also, I'm quite sure you guys know about the food shortage as well. And also, we demand a 1 to 4 year contract from anybody we invest with, just to let these guys know that we're serious and we're in it for the long run. So we're not just here overnight. I picked my whole family up and moved here. I live here permanently now just to see all the oversights of the company. So we're here and we're growing very fast. So this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to join us, for sure.
Okay, and Greg, our younger brother, he wasn't able to make it today. So we will pass it over to our partner, Isaac Alabi. How are you?
Very well, very well. How you doing, family? My name is Isaac Alabi. As you can tell from my accent, I'm from the UK. Originally born in Nigeria, but grew up in London with family, kids. And one of the things that drew me to Christopher and David's journey, because they've got similar values. And I think when you come across people who are very transparent with what they do, they naturally draw people towards them that have got similar values and goals. And one of the things that I know I'm definitely going to be able to achieve is to leave a legacy for my family. Working closely with these guys, it's been an absolute dream. I can't say any more positive words about these guys, what the things they do, interacting with the team on a daily basis, with the family. It is a family business that is started from the ground up. And I feel privileged and honored to be part of this from someone coming from overseas. And I've been doing business in Africa for a while myself, but not to this scale and not to this efficiency. From working in a corporate background, I've been working in local government for over 20 years in London in lots of senior positions, and seeing the same sort of ethics, structure being put in place in this business is similar to what I've been used to in my normal 9 to 5 jobs when I was working in government. And it makes things a lot more streamlined, especially as people coming in from the West. People have got a mindset in Africa that our money just grows on trees, but we work very hard for our money. I know I work incredibly hard for my money, so making sure every single penny, every single cent is looked after. And this is what the team does. And yes, there is a lot of bureaucracy, doing things, a lot of red tape. I like that because we're dealing with people's hard-earned money. We're changing lives. We're not just changing lives across the sea, we're changing lives in Rwanda as well. I see it day in, day out. And that's not just including the schools projects that these guys are very passionate about. That's also feeding different families as well, getting different families. Christopher, I know he always misses this, but it's important that people know how many people you've actually got an employment through Harmony Village, through the projects that Dave and the partners have set up. And I could keep on going on. But yes, I'm glad you guys joined us. I hope to see more of you and more friends and family partner with us over the years. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes that people don't see that I'm not going to share, but it's a journey that's going to be here for a very, very long time.
All right, thank you, Isaac. So yeah, I did fail to mention, I'm sorry. So with the investments that we have invested thus far, we have created over 60,000 jobs. This is 60,000. You know, this is not it could be slightly understated, but yes. So we all know that in that region, the pay scale is small, but it is sufficient. It is mainstream. So what we pay, yes, is small in terms of US dollars, but most of the people that work under Harmony Village 100 makes a little bit more than the average farmhand or casual worker makes. So we've impacted over 60,000 families due to those 60,000 jobs. So I feel grateful that we were able to do that, because that was a bonus. We knew we were going to create a few thousand jobs, but after making these investments, when we found out how many people that we employed, and not employed through Harmony Village 100, but through our investment endeavors, that was just a bonus that just warms our heart. And one last thing that I did fail to mention was about our insurance policy. So with our insurance, we are actually covered for everything outside of war, riot, and flood. And if anybody has been doing their homework on Rwanda, Rwanda is, I believe, the second safest country in the whole continent of Africa. So that kind of rules out war and riot aspect as far as our insurance policy. But the last thing that we could be affected by that our insurance policy would not cover is flooding. And this is the reason why, another reason why we have chosen Rwanda. Rwanda is known as the country of 1,000 hills. So it is a mountainous, hilly region, and we do not do any business in the low-lying valley regions. So I would not say that we're exempt from flooding, but we have strategically made our investments to avoid places that are more susceptible for flooding. So the only caveat to an insurance claim would be that we would only be reimbursed 85% of our expected return for that season. But we have not had to make any claims yet in that regard, and we're very satisfied with being returned 85% of our expected investment returns, because 85% of our expected returns is still 100% better than what we could ever expect here in the West. So those are a couple points that I forgot to include. And Isaac, I thank you for reminding me. I think that was pretty important. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point. I had one more statement at the end, but it's just a scripted statement, and I try to steer away from scripts. But I just want to say to anybody who's listening to this, that this opportunity that we're presenting is almost not almost, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You do not see this, at least not in the West where we're from. You only will see something like this in East Africa. I don't really want to talk about West Africa, North or South, because we don't do business there. We don't know what goes on there. But this opportunity that we're offering is unprecedented. And anybody who sees this and is serious about investing and building wealth, this is something that you really should take a hard look at. A lot of people, we come to the conferences, come to the presentations, and they are very interested, but the driver is not there, or maybe some people are not 100% serious. But I just urge anybody, and like I said, this is no high pressure sales, or we don't see anything. Just go to the website, look around, do your due diligence into our company, Harmony Village 100, into ourselves. We have a sterling reputation for excellence, and I just want you guys to consider making a move like this. So with that being said, that kind of wraps it up. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask the questions that you may have. Or if you're not comfortable with that, just put it in the chat and we could respond to it that way.
I guess I'll go. First, I want to start by commending you. I'm from Detroit as well. And so it's not very often that I see people like us, as well as men, having these type of opportunities that are legal and that generate wealth.
Yes.
And so when I spoke with Christopher, that was my thing. Like, I work for the state of Michigan, but I'm in this point in my life where I want to carve something out for me. I have a 20-year-old son, and just always thinking of ways to create generational wealth, and to introduce him to things as he grows to be a man, and at some point develop a family himself. So I just want to commend you, and I believe in it. I believe what you're saying, and I see it. Chris, I know you were really excited about it when I saw you at
Yes.
the graduation part, at the prom
Yes.
send off.
Right.
So I
Right.
really wanted to learn more, and that's why I tracked you down when you were in Rwanda.
Yeah.
Like, I need to talk to you and
Yeah.
hear what's going on, what you guys doing over there. So
Right. Right.
I'm really excited. I'm interested in investing.
Okay.
I heard you mention about companies. I've never owned a company. Like, do I have to have a company to invest, or can I invest as an individual? How does
Yes,
that work?
you could invest as an individual. That's actually all we take is individual investments. Well, let me say we have not been approached by a company that wanted to invest. When you heard me talking about companies, I was basically speaking of the companies in East Africa that we invest in. So those company heads would actually go to our website, put in their information, and we would contact them back like that before making an investment. So yeah, we offer all individual investments.
Okay. And you mentioned these meetings occur once a month.
Mm-hmm. Yes, every last Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that would be Detroit time, every last Sunday of each month.
Okay. So I would like to invite more of my family in. I'm definitely sold. I'm very interested in beginning this journey with you
Okay.
all. So
Nice,
you'll
nice.
be seeing my name coming through there.
Okay, sounds good. Good to hear. Earl,
Hey,
how
Chris, how
are
you
you?
doing? All
Good,
right.
good.
I've been calling you off and on for over the last 2 weeks and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Hope I wasn't a pain in the behind, but
Oh
I
no,
just
it
wanted
was
to
a pleasure.
yeah, just wanted to say, you are a referral to me from Tammy McLean,
Okay.
uh, and Mark Bradley. I think he told me he interviewed you in Zanzibar or Tanzania, one of the
Actually,
two.
he was in Rwanda when he interviewed us, but yeah, I know
Okay,
he's
because
in
he
Zanzibar now.
Right. And so
Mhm.
they were good references. I have another friend of mine over here that's invested with you, Ernest Mabry.
Okay.
My wire transfer will be coming Monday. I ran into a problem with the bank because I didn't realize they don't do wire transfers on Saturday because I tried to do it Saturday. But
Okay.
it'll be coming Monday.
Okay, good. And
I
like
want
I
to just
told you in that in our communication, since
uh
we were having difficulty for the last couple of weeks, then your partnership would actually start on September 1st due to those difficulties. But normally when someone comes in, if they come in after the 15th of the month, then their partnership will not start until the 1st of the following month. So if a
I got you.
person, if a regular person had come in today or Monday, then
Uh-huh.
their partnership wouldn't actually start until October 1st. But since you and I had the hangups, then you are good to go for September the 1st.
Oh, okay, good. I was thinking it was October, but that's even better.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I just wanted to say on an aside, I've combed through all of your videos, read all of your stuff, and I have to tell you, like Ms. Jackson said, Tracy, I am thoroughly, thoroughly impressed to
Thank
see
you.
our people, particularly brothers, do the things that you guys are doing as thoroughly as you're doing. One of the tests for me was how soon you would get back to me on a phone. And that was
Okay.
like right there. I said, he'll get back to me 2 or 3 days because I'm used to, we're on CP time, right?
Right,
Normally,
right.
but you guys weren't. Um,
Yeah,
the charitable things that you did on the continent, was really thrilled about because that is in my DNA. My brother just recently bought a house in Zimbabwe.
okay,
Um, and I was over there in July for about 2 weeks. And
okay,
there's a lot of opportunity, just to let you know, a lot of opportunity over there with farming. I
okay.
know that you right now are primarily in Rwanda,
Mhm.
but I don't know if Zimbabwe is on your radar, but yeah.
Well, yeah, well, actually, it is kind of on our radar because we've gotten into the chicken side of things now.
Okay.
We're on that side of agriculture as well, the livestock agriculture. So
Right.
yeah, it's definitely on our radar. We were doing a
Okay.
lot of investing in Tanzania and Uganda as well,
Mhm.
but the investments there were kind of slow pay and things like that in comparison to Rwanda, where everything goes off without a hitch because of the government that they have in place there with the no
Right.
tolerance for corruption.
Right.
Yeah, so we moved most of our investments from Uganda, from Tanzania, and centralized it now in Rwanda because that's where we are getting not only the best bang for our buck, but the
Hmm.
government is very responsive. They have an aftercare unit for specific international investors such as ourselves to walk into the government office in this aftercare unit and express anything that we may have experienced that's negative about the country, and they get right on it. So that country is very progressive, is growing. So right now we have chosen to centralize most of our investments in Rwanda for that reason, and another reason why it's like that. I don't know if you guys know about the genocide that happened
Yeah.
in 1994,
Uh-huh.
but with the new presidency that came in after that, they vowed.
Kagame.
Paul
Kagame.
Yes,
Kagame, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
They vowed never again. That's
Yeah.
like one of their philosophies, or
Hmm.
never again. So they are very strict on certain things, and they're doing things right to the button. And Kagame, he's also good friends with the president of Singapore. And as you know, Singapore is a thriving country where billionaires go to retire. So since they're such good friends, he's kind of modeling that country in Africa after Singapore. So that's why you see all of the roads going in so quickly, all of the infrastructure, the ban on single-use plastic bags, ban on flip-flops. They are not playing games there. So that's why we feel so comfortable doing business there. And that's why David has moved there and taken his entire family with him. That's a big move, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
other question. I don't mean to take up a lot of time. Just
Oh, no worries.
um, with all of these the moves that's going on now in Africa, with the Niger and the a lot of the French colonies or former colonies banding together, the whole BRICS thing that's forming with South Africa.
Yes.
They just added Egypt and Ethiopia to it. How is that? Do you see that as a negative or positive for what you guys are doing over there?
I actually, well, it's like a twofold scenario. So it's a positive in the regard of us not really having to use the US dollar for our daily transactions, with the looming uncertainty of what may happen with the US dollar. So it is a benefit to us in that respect. And the reason I say that, okay, we do everything in Rwandan francs or Tanzanian shillings. So if the BRICS whole agenda did come to fruition and crash the USD, so to speak, we would be unaffected. So in that term, it benefits us. It's good. But now, I would say 90% of our investors are from the United States and they deal in USD. So let's just say if you gave me $100 and you invested in a 3.5-year partnership and you were expecting $270 returned to you, but in the interim, the BRICS thing took effect and kind of tanked the US dollar. At that point, that would affect how much you are returned. So I'll put that in a more understandable way. You invested $100. You are supposed to be returned $270. You will definitely be returned $270, but your $270 wouldn't be worth $270 at that point, if you catch what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a twofold. It's a win and then it's kind of a loss. Myself, I'm following this thing very intently, and Isaac and David can also weigh in on it. I don't know if it's actually going to work. You know, the intent is good, and I understand what the driver behind it is. You know, everybody is stuck on this US dollar. The US is not negotiating in terms of certain different parameters, and they're asking each other, okay, who made this up? Who the hell said that we have to trade in US dollars? Let's throw it to the wayside. But it's so many countries that are still locked into the US dollars through different traps that the US have in place with these countries. So if this BRICS thing is going to happen, I think it's going to take many years, and I think it's going to have hundreds of more countries are going to have to get behind it for it to actually happen. So I don't know if David or Isaac want to weigh in on that, or if anybody have any comments.
I'll weigh in. Me personally, I don't think it's going to affect Africa at all. Actually, I think it would help Africa. I don't know if you guys heard, but right now, Kenya and Tanzania, they're trading with each other with their own local
With their
currencies
own
right
currency.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's just between those two countries. And you know, Africa has been down in the dumps forever, you know, so I just see it only being a good thing for Africa, but I actually see it being a bad thing for the West. For
But yeah,
sure.
they've always there's a multitude of talent among our people on both sides of the continent, and they've just been uh suppressed.
Right.
But once you move that ceiling, the talent can flow. And I think one of the things that I'm noticing, not to get philosophical, is that what good things can happen with the diaspora connecting with the continent, bringing all that talent together. You know, because I mean, there's this whole thing of a lot of these guys are talking about unite Africa. They want one currency. They want to be able to travel from. Why do I need a visa? They want to end the visa thing for within the continent. You know, you should be able to travel from Zimbabwe to Uganda to Tanzania to whatever without
Right.
all of these restrictions. Now, you said something about you guys use the French franc in Rwanda.
The
Yes,
Rwandan
it's called
franc.
the Rwandan franc.
Okay,
I
is that a
believe
French?
Yes.
I'm not,
Yes.
it is. I believe France does print their currency.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
They're bound to France. Yes. They're
so with the
Belgium, originally a Belgium colony. So yeah.
okay, so the with all that what's happening with France, which is now under duress because all of these countries are kicking them out, saying no, no, no. Um, how would that affect Rwanda monetarily? I guess.
Yeah, well, the value of the money would definitely be impacted. We have not seen anything thus far, but
Mhm.
obviously, if things go on in France, then the value of that franc there in Rwanda, because that's a subset of the franc, would definitely be impacted. So we're watching that closely as well. We haven't seen anything at this point. But with that said, anywhere you kind of go is conflict here, conflict there. So you always have to watch the monetary value and things of that nature. So it's something that we're cognizant of. And if it does begin to tank that Rwandan franc, then we still have options of different investments in Tanzania, Uganda, the whole East Africa we take a liking to, you know. And real quick, I want to back up a little bit on that US dollar and the BRICS. And I know I said I don't think that the US dollar would be impacted, but you would think that while these BRICS summits are going on and different countries are joining the movement, you would think the US dollar would begin to lose value. But what we're seeing when it comes down to our converting money over to different currencies is actually gaining value. And this is mind-boggling to me how this is happening. You
Really?
know?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like we had to send money to Australia. You know, they use the Australian dollar, but the conversion rate is way different from the time we convert it to receive it to the time we convert it to pay it back. The same thing, the USD in relation to the Rwandan franc. Just last November, it was 1,000 Rwandan francs to $1 USD. Now it's $1 USD to 1,200 Rwandan francs. So the value of the US dollar in certain countries is actually going up. So that's mind-boggling to me. I don't, you know, it's counterintuitive to what you would think with the BRICS movement going on.
Right. I'm not going to take up any more time. I sent both of you guys earlier 2 questions in the chat. I don't know if you saw them.
Yes, you asked about Moses West, the guy that makes the water.
Yeah,
pulls the water out the air. Is he from Flint? Or Texas?
I think he. Okay, I don't want to lie, but I think he. Let me not say. I forget where he originally is from, but he, from what I understood, what I looked up on him, he donates a lot of these machines to countries that need them. He showed demonstrations on now. His machines would work well on smaller farms. So on a grand scale, you would need more than one, but it actually pulls the water out of the atmosphere. As a matter of fact, he was already had a couple of people in the States of a different persuasion try to sabotage his machines.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
There's also he, if you can look him up, he's an engineer. He's out of the Army. And he's built these machines, and I mean, and it's lots of water come out of it. I mean, they use them in the desert.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been looking at that. Yeah.
Okay.
That is definitely something that can be used in Africa as a whole. The only reservation I have about it is when somebody comes up with an invention like that could impact the world, and the bigger players are going to lose, those people ultimately mysteriously meet their demise, you know? So I know they went on and sabotaged a couple of his units that he had in Flint, and that was done by a bigger power, I'm sure. You know, a local guy is not just going to sabotage that. That was some company that was being impacted monetarily, you know? So this is something that could definitely be used in Africa, but I don't know if that will ever get out. I don't know if they will, you know?
Well, I mean, he might take his inspiration and hope for you guys, because somebody could say the same for you. I'm sure that you guys are impacting some other people that are in the continent now, you know? And I understand.
Absolutely.
I understand we can move in logic, but not move in fear. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Exactly.
And if you guys can serve as an inspiration to other guys. Also, the other one, I think I sent this question to about have you heard of Quest to Unite Africa?
No.
Quest to Unite Africa?
Yes, Brother Curris. He's an American, and
Okay,
they are forming a thing over here where they have access to equipment,
okay,
bulldozers, backhoes,
okay,
those types of things. And their whole thing is to try to bring those uh, bring equipment here where it's needed. I didn't know if you guys knew about them, but they're easy to find. Quest to it's just put if you put a search Quest to Unite Africa, they have their whole thing on there.
okay,
And the last one is, and I think you know about these people, they are what I would call the mini me of you, T3
okay.
and me, T3 and me.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
Okay.
heard of
yes.
them.
We've
With their
been in
egos.
conversations with them.
Oh,
Yeah,
good. That's good. That's good. Because
yeah,
they're young and
yes,
they're trying. So all
yes.
right, yeah,
And they have a great initiative that they're doing in Tanzania as well. So
yeah.
we're looking at doing something with them in the future. You know, we had several different meetings, but at the time we met, we had so much going on and we were
Mm,
growing so fast that we could not commit. But that is something that we're definitely looking into. I know your friend Tammy got
mhm.
involved over there, and she's happy that she did, you know. And by the
Yeah,
way, Tammy is one of our biggest supporters. You know, we love having her on board. She's been around since the
yeah,
beginning. She has given us valuable insight as
yeah,
far as our website and just things in general. So we've had probably 10 or 12 meetings with Tammy over the last couple of years. So she's
yeah,
a beautiful person to work with for
yeah.
sure.
If you look up the word excellent, you'll see her face because she crosses her
Okay.
T's and dots her I's. And she's the one that turned me on to you guys. So
Okay.
you know, she
Okay.
also told me something about from time to time you give a little surprise bonus to people that refer. So I'm just
Oh
gonna say
yeah.
if you do that from me, give it to Tammy
Gotcha.
because of her.
Gotcha. All right. All
All right, I'm
right.
gonna shut up now. I'm gonna let somebody else speak because I've been talking a lot. But
Okay. Hey, it's all right. We got a small intimate group here outside of wherever else this thing went to on the live
right,
stream. That is over
uh,
now. But it's just us here now. So if anybody has any other questions, feel free.
mhm.
Otherwise, I think that's about it.
So Christopher, if you just add, because one question that had come up in one of our previous conferences on fees for people investing, if you just could cover that quickly, please.
You said fees?
If there's any fees for people investing with Harmony Village 100.
Okay. No, there's zero fees. Whatever you invest, you get credit for that amount. If it's $100, you will be returned the exact amount of whatever your partnership package is. The only thing is not a fee, is taxes. So obviously, if we pay you money over and above what you invest, you will be responsible for paying your taxes on that income. We do not take any taxes. We give you all of your money, but we will give you a 1099.
1099. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
got
if
you.
you invest $100 and you do a 3.5 year partnership package, and I give you back $275, you'll receive a
Mhm.
1099 for $175. That's it. But no,
Okay,
there are zero fees.
got you.
Thank you. So
All
one, just
right.
one other.
Oh, and that other question I seen in the chat about is it hard to get equipment? So it's not hard. It just takes about 3 months. But the progressiveness of Rwanda's infrastructure is they are zero taxes on any equipment of such nature that's going to advance the company. So
Wow. Okay.
the country, not the company. I'm
Right.
sorry. Any farming equipment, dairy equipment, any tractors, combines is zero, is duty free, is tax free, tariff free.
Mhm.
So if I get a tractor that costs say $500,000 from the United States and I ship it to Rwanda, I'll pay the shipping costs, but once it reaches the port in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, there is no fees. And the reason I say Dar es Salaam, they have a port in Rwanda, but it'll always go through Tanzania first. But once it reaches the port, we have no duties and no fees. So that's what we love about the country, the activism. They're just going to continue to progress because of the mindset, you know. I mean, period.
So
Okay.
one final, just for clarity, that's come up a few times, is to confirm if this is an American or an African company.
Yes, this is an American company. We're headquartered in Farmington Hills, Michigan, but we have a sister company, which is Harmony Village 100 Ltd, which is in Rwanda, and David heads that up. So we're Harmony Village 100 LLC here, and we're Harmony Village 100 Ltd in Rwanda.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that's for ease of doing business. You know, the different governments are very big on money laundering and things of that nature. So it was easy for us to set up a company there, set up a company here. Anytime we're making investments, we're sending money from ourselves to ourselves. It's no questions asked.
One more question now, and I that'll be it. When I saw the you gave me the list on for the transfer, and you said that that there are 2 routing numbers.
Yes.
And so
so normally,
I guess,
no, go ahead, finish your question. I'm sorry.
okay, you have the one that it says one is for USD. That's the one that I use. The other 2 are for what?
No, it's 2 routing numbers all for USD. But what happens is, in the past, we have had people go to the bank and they have used the regular routing number to send money to Harmony Village 100, and the bank cannot make the transfer, or they'll call me and say, this routing number that you give me is not working. So for whatever reason, Huntington Bank, who we bank with, has 2 routing numbers. So in that case, if you use the second routing number, it'll go through. And we have had other investors use the second routing number, and the bank say, we're not recognizing this routing number. But if they conversely use the other routing number, it goes through. So that's why we have that there with that statement. Okay, try to use this routing number. If it works, good. If it does not work, use this routing number. And it's we've been successful in doing it that way. I wish we could only put one there, but unfortunately, some institutions, it just doesn't work.
Well, you have 3 there.
3.
Yeah, you have I'm not gonna read them over the thing unless okay. You have 1, I'll just do the last 4 digits. Is that okay?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, you have 1 that says bank account number if USD, and the last 4 digits is 4111, and then it says, oh, that's the account number. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. Account number, and no, there's 2 routing numbers. My bad, my mistake. I'm misreading. But you should get used to me by now. All right.
No worries, no worries.
Okay. So how soon would it automatically get rejected right then and there? If that's not, like if I use this one, they'll let me know right then and there.
Yes, the teller, once she's putting it in her computer, she'll say this routing number isn't coming up.
And then I just use the other one.
Yes,
but one of them will go through. Okay,
definitely, and they both will reach the same account.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I am.
All right.
All right.
I see you unmuted yourself, Tracy. You must have something there.
No, I sort of do. For the meeting next month, do you automatically send it out, or do I reach out to you again?
Yeah, so we can automatically send it out to you. What we do is we kind of go on social media blitz, because our marketing, that's really the only way we use social media. So if you did not see one of our posts or one of our reels that had that link, then you wouldn't know about it unless you went on Eventbrite and searched Harmony Village 100. So what we'll do for you in that case, we'll send you that link.
Just
Okay.
one, Christopher. What I've set up on Eventbrite is if you are registered on Eventbrite and following us, you'll get an automatic notification for all of our future events.
Oh, that's
Gotcha.
good to know. Thank you. I am
So
on
that's what
there.
I'll do. I'll send you the Eventbrite link, and then you could follow us on there, and then you'll automatically get notified.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. And Tracy, if you have not seen, now we have a YouTube channel, but we are not trying to really grow the channel like that. We want to grow it in the respect that we can reach more people, but at the same time, we do it for people who are looking at us or looking into us or want to know what we do. They can go there, they can watch some videos, they can see our how we give back, they can see us at schools providing uniforms. You can just get a good gist of us as people, us as the company. So that's Harmony Village 100 on YouTube. So you can go and have a look at some videos if you haven't already.
Okay. I will
Okay.
do that. Thank
Will this
you.
conference be on your website? This one here?
This particular one, probably not, but we have one of the ones from the past
From the
on
past,
there.
okay.
Yeah, and
All
they're
right.
pretty much the same. The only thing that really differs is the Q&A. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, because I have some people that I'm have to look at it. All right.
Okay, good. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
I put the
Okay.
Harmony link in for the Eventbrite in the chat for anyone who wants to quickly save it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I couldn't hear him. What you say?
He put the link for the Eventbrite in the chat. So if you wanted to go ahead and save that, or you could
Okay.
do it.
Thank you.
Okay. So, okay. Thank you guys for listening up to us for an hour, go on and on and on. But we just want to give everybody this opportunity because our hands are not tied as far as reaching out to everybody. So that's why we're staying consistent month after month after month, because we need everybody possible in our community, Black and brown people, to get the word. Everybody else can get the word too. There is nothing on the books or illegal about us catering to or emphasizing our need to uplift Black and brown people. So that's what we do.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's very important. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
And I look forward to next month.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
My stuff will be coming Monday.
Okay. Sounds good.